Hi everyone. Welcome to All About Buffy Season 5 Part 2. It is rainy and windy with a chance of stormy. Let's just call that cozy. Okay. Cozy. Okay, so it is the following day. So today the hour changed, but today it's just still like an arbitrary change. Yes, the clock says something different, but you haven't adapted to it yet. So we're still using this daylight. Cat is still outside. She's going to be very happy when she comes in, right? No? To be fair, I just gave her the opportunity to come inside, and then I would not have filmed. So she just decided to stay outside. So she has shelter. She can sit somewhere out of the wind and out of the rain. So she'll be fine for an hour. Okay, so Season 5. This one won't have tapping. Like I said, I was only going to do it in one video. I'm gonna stick by that. To be honest, I didn't feel like it went very well. I don't know if I overdid it or if I underdid it. It was just hard to focus on. So, no tapping from here until the end of the series. Well, not like I might tap one of the DVDs 3 times if I feel like it, but not like as a specific trigger, you know. Okay, let's dive right in. So we're talking about season 5. I'm just gonna get my list back out. And today we're going to be talking about the characters and my favorite episodes. So, I didn't talk about the DVD image in the part 1, but I feel like what I was saying yesterday, where season 5 starts a shift in the mood, in the atmosphere, in just the essence of the show. And I feel like that this image of Buffy underlines that as well. It's like she grew up. She's not the girl that she used to be anymore. There's no naivete, no innocence left, just radiant girl power. Girl power. So Buffy, I don't know, I guess it's kind of hard to talk about characters because we've got that huge event of Joyce dying and it impacts everyone very differently. So maybe it's not the best idea at this time to talk about characters. We'll see, let's think about it. So we've got Glory, obviously, and I talked about her a lot in the plot description. But yeah, I really like her as a big bad. She is she's a lot. Maybe that's why I find her so scary. Because I'm an introvert. I am an introvert and I like things to be very calm, very predictable, very just like controlled. And Glory is none of these things. This is why I love the mayor so much. It's like the mayor's like my kind of villain. So Glory is like a nightmare to me, like legitimately a nightmare. And I love it. She plays it so well. And like I said, I feel like she is the first villain that raised the stakes, like the first time that you genuinely worry. So, Glory. Spike's character really gets fleshed out in this season. So Spike's been around for a while now, but we don't necessarily know all that much about him. And in this season, that really gets fleshed out. So we get to know Spike the way he was before he was turned, as like a really sensitive soul, like the opposite of the way he presents himself to be now. So we get to know all that. We meet Cecily, we hear some of his bloody awful poetry. My heart expands, 'tis grown a bulge in it, inspired by your beauty, effulgent. Oh, that's so freaking hilarious. So we learn about that. We learn about Drusilla and Spike's and Angel's little gang, and what they were up to during the Boxer Rebellion. We understand more of the dynamics there. And then obviously we see how he got the leather duster from Nikki Wood, the second slayer that he killed. So we learn a lot more about Spike, and with his obsession for Buffy, he becomes much more of a like a main character. So in season 4 he became a series regular, but he wasn't like part of anything. He wasn't part of the group, of the show in that sense. And in season 5 that does change. So So what else should I talk about without, without it? So Giles gets his groove back. Buffy starts turning to him again to be her watcher, to train her, to help her, which is good. Willow and Tara, are firmly together, like very strong, steady in their relationship, which is absolutely beautiful. Willow is taking many strides in terms of magic, and we do see like the early warning signs in season 5, like some foreboding on how magic will become a problem for Willow. And obviously towards the end of the season, after Tara gets hurt, that's the first time that we see her turn dark side. I believe it's the first time her eyes turn black as well, when she heads to Glory to get revenge for Tara. But that's also the moment that everyone does realize, like Buffy does realize, that Willow is like a force to be reckoned with and to be used in this epic battle. Like she's the first one that really manages to touch Glory. So and then Dawn's a teenage brat. She is. It's fine. Many of us were. Buffy. So Buffy, like I said, Buffy's different. Buffy changed. So she stood still for a little while there with the Riley situation. It's like suddenly her development kind of halted. But, honestly, I think season 4 was just them having a little bit of fun while working out where to take this show. And in season 5, we see that, and we get a Buffy that is much more focused, motivated, serious, and she is really learning what it means to be a Slayer. And whereas before this she had been like in this limbo, on one hand she did realize what it meant, and that's why she always felt removed from her friends. But on the other hand, she did live in this sort of denial where she still wanted a life. She still wanted some aspects of normalcy, friends, love, school, fun. And in season 5, Buffy is letting that go. Season 5, Buffy is no longer in denial about what it means to be a Slayer. I would say, at least starts to be in season 6 and 7. This keeps on being developed, but in season 5 that kind of starts. Okay, let's just talk about the episodes. because I have some stuff to say about Tara, but it's really tied to an episode. So as always, hate the first 2 episodes. Now, I think this is the last time that I can really say that. Season 6, Bargaining 1 and 2, I don't hate. And season 7, Lessons and Beneath You. I don't hate the way I hate all of the other ones. But yeah, so the first 2 episodes, Buffy vs. Dracula and The Real Me, friggin' hate them. The Replacement, I also hate. For obvious reasons. For very fucking obvious reasons that I don't even need to go into. Okay, so Family is the first episode that I'll be talking about. Family, I love. So this is a Tara-centric episode. And basically, remember how in the season 4 episodes, while I was performing my little ode to Tara, that I did say that she's not unequivocally good. She does do bad things, to benefit her. That refers to something we get an explanation for in this episode. So in season 4, she botched a spell on purpose that were to locate demons in the area. In Family, we learn that Tara is part demon, apparently. And she wanted to hide that when they were performing the spell. So in Family, Tara's family comes to Sunnydale, and I think it is her dad, her brother, and her cousin, who is played by Amy Adams. Can you believe it? Amy Adams just playing this tiny little part in Buffy. It's nuts. And so they come to Sunnydale, and basically they're coming to bring her back home. And she doesn't want to, and she is kind of I have my friends here. They love me. They look after me. And they're like, oh, well, will they still love you when they know? It's getting brighter out now. Is the window annoying? It's a little annoying. Yeah, that's better. As long as it doesn't actually start storming, because then it's gonna not be better. Okay, so are they still gonna love you when they find out what you are? A demon. And so this is what this whole episode is about. And it is Spike that figures it out. I really do love that little, just through line of Spike always being the one to figure things out. He just always knows what's going on. So there's just so many instances throughout the show where Spike is the first one to realize something before anyone else. And I really like that. He's not just a pretty face, And in this episode, same thing. So there's this standoff in the magic shop. Oh yeah, Giles has the magic shop now. So there's like this standoff in the magic shop between her family and the Scoobies, and they have all rallied for her, like even if she's a demon. So they know now that that's what she was hiding, and they're like, what the fuck ever, she is family, so no, she belongs with us. And so there's like this tense standoff when suddenly Spike just clicks, and he sees through the whole situation, and he's like, okay, well, let me test this here right quick. And he punches Tara in the face, and she's like, ow, and he's like, ow. And remember, he is chipped and he can only hurt demons. So the fact that he is hurting means that there's no demon in Tara. And again, so Spike was the one that puts it all together, that this was a line that the men in the family feed to the women in the family to keep them under control, to keep them at home, to keep them, just to be able to use them. So men. So but I just love that episode. I love finding out more about Tara. I love her finding her voice and standing up for her. I love the gang coming together and making it clear that she is part of them. You know, she's not just Willow's girlfriend. She's part of them. And I love that Spike is the one that solves it all. So I like family a lot. Then we have Fool for Love. I love Fool for Love. So like I said, it's just an episode where we find out a lot about Spike's history, about Spike's past, and it's sad because it's also the episode that Spike professes his love for Buffy and she responds quite disgustedly. So that's a little hard to watch. But it's just a good episode, and just the way that he teaches her the lessons, I think, is really well done. And again, he reaches the correct conclusion, where he is like, all slayers have a death wish. Slaying equals death. And I was able to kill them because on some level they wanted it. And it's kind of like a different version of the death is your gift message. And so even though Buffy completely denies it and does not accept this message for truth, he is right though. He's right though. So there's a lot of depth to Spike's character, and I've said this from the beginning, like from the start when I started talking about him in season 2. And I feel like a lot of people miss it, whether they miss it just because he's a bit of a caricature in some ways, or because he's quite clearly also meant to be eye candy. But there's a lot of depth there. He's very complex. He has been since the beginning, and he is just very aware of everything. But yeah, Full for Love. Yeah. I guess it's time to address the body. I mean, there's good episodes in between, but I've only seen it once. I could talk about Crush, but Crush honestly annoys me. I like Checkpoint. I really like Checkpoint. Fucking Watchers Council. I really like that they kind of, that they're dealt with. But yeah, the body. Here goes. So Buffy's mother dies. Buffy finds her on the couch, eyes open. And then with the body is created one of the most amazing episodes in TV history, like ever. Like, it's probably the best episode out of the whole series. And I've never seen a TV show so accurately portray dealing with the sudden loss of a loved one, and for all Whedon's faults, it is clear that he went through something similar himself, because I just don't think that, well, I know I've read this, but I don't think that you can create something like that if you haven't lived through it firsthand. And so I think that, anyone will be able to see the brilliance of the episode, but I think that only those who are part of that club, the Lost a Parent Way Too Young club, will fully understand the genius. And it's not to exclude anyone, it's not to be dismissive of other people's suffering or loss or empathy and all of that. There's things I'll never be able to fully understand because I've never went through that. You know, I recently saw this film, Gloria Bell, and it was just like, no. And in the reviews were so many people talking about how amazing this movie portrays certain things, but I just can't relate. Or even there's this other movie, what was it called? I don't remember. I watched too many movies. But it was about a couple that it's the actress from Newness. Why can't I think of her name? So a couple, and they get together, and very early on in their relationship they want to try having a baby, and because she's older than him, so it's kind of a now or never thing. And so the whole movie is about their process with IVF and conceiving and failing and everything. And it's this really good movie, and I can see that it's a really good movie, but I just can't relate. And so we all look at things differently. And so if you haven't lived through this situation, you will be able to see that it's a really good episode, and it may still move you incredibly, and you may still cry and all of that. But it's still different. It's still different. You know? Some things you just have to go through to understand them. And the body is incredible. The way that they portrayed the aftermath of a sudden loss like that is just absurdly accurate. I just don't even have the words. And it's strange because Buffy is an amazing show. It is an amazing show. It's my favorite. So I will die going to bat for Buffy. But I don't live in any sense of disillusion about what it is and what kind of show it is. Like the Buffy the Vampire Slayer is not like the Newsroom or Chernobyl or, you know, it's genius, it's amazing, but it's niche, it's a genre, and it's never going to be some sort of highbrow intellectual sort of thing, and it doesn't have to be at all. But because of that, when you get an episode like the Buffy, when you get an episode like The Body, it just blindsides you. It's just like, what? Huh? They can do this? So it's just extremely well made television. And it hurts. It hurts a lot. I find it a shame that I cannot watch it more because it is so incredible. But it's too painful, it's too real, it's too confronting. And for me, everyone processes a loss like that differently, and so everyone is going to have a different character that they hone in on, that they relate to. And for me, it was Anya. So for me, the moment that Anya is in Willow and Tara's dorm room with Xander, and she has like a little meltdown, and she talks about, I don't think I can say the things. I don't think I can quote her without getting super emotional. But basically, so she sees it all from her clearly ND standpoint, and she's all, but just I don't understand, like how can no, I gotta stop. I gotta stop. Look it up. The body Anya speech or monologue or quote. Look it up. And that's it for me. Like that's what just like sledgehammer, just right there. And that's just it for me then. But it's amazing television. It's and I feel like anyone that doesn't like Buffy, or that thinks the show is silly or campy or whatever, I feel like they never watched it in its entirety. Because if you watch it and you see episodes like Hush, The Body, Was Worth Feeling even, I don't know. But see what I mean about like a change? There is a change. Season 4 is like a palate cleanser, though it leaves you with a bit of a foul taste, admittedly. and then we just like get serious. And it's funny because you don't immediately get that idea since season 5 starts off with Buffy versus Dracula. But there is a definite mood change. Yeah. So, the body forever is very painful to watch as well. It's a good episode. It's painful. So, intervention, talked about it a little bit, but not enough. So, intervention is at first just friggin' hilarious. Now, you do kind of have to, for a second, put aside the fact that Spike had a Buffy bot made. Unfortunately, this happens quite a lot, that you have to put aside things that Spike does in order to just be able to move on. And that's possible, like up to a point. But so, if we put aside the giant ick factor, the episode is hilarious. It's hilarious. And it is so painful at the same time, because like you realize throughout the episode and throughout their moments together, you realize that he doesn't want her to be a sex toy. He wants her to be Buffy. And I honestly don't know if that makes it better or worse. Probably worse. But, you know, the whole thing just leads to some hilarious scenes, especially when the Scoobies all like spot them together and think that it is the real Buffy. And it's kind of funny because they're all like very accepting, not encouraging, but just like, okay, she just lost her mother. People do strange things after that. You have no idea the damaging things that I did. Quite like not immediately after, but after like a couple months, I did some really messed up things. And so it does, like it does work that way. So I just like how they were all very like accepting and sort of wanted to have a calm talk with her, an intervention, if you will, and just not immediately be like, what the fuck are you doing? What the actual fuck? Kind of wish they had kept that energy for longer throughout the series. I kind of wish they had that energy before. But again, factual. You know, people do put up with more when you've gone through something like that and you're going through a hard time. They will be a little more lenient, and they will be that way for a limited amount of time. So again, factual, like they didn't write them to be bad friends. People just are bad friends. That's just life. So I guess that is all accurate, but I still wish they would have kept that energy for a longer time, because Buffy's always the Slayer, so she always has mitigating factors. Always. She doesn't just have to have killed her boyfriend or lost her mother or anything like that to deserve a little fucking compassion and understanding. No, she's always the Slayer. She should always fucking get a break, in my opinion. It's fine. So, that's why I love Tara. Tara's a good one. That's why I love Anya. Anya is the upfront bad one. You know, like the you can't count on me, but you'll know. These are the types of people that I like. Either the genuinely pure and good ones, always, or the just clearly shitty people, but they don't hide it. Those are the two. I don't want anything in between. All of those. I'll be caring and loving and helping for you while you are going through this tough time for 1 week. And then it's back to no. Don't want those. Fuck all of those. Tangent to tangent, all the tangents. So yeah, intervention. And then we've got like the episodes leading to the end. So I talked about them a bit already, but I do want to say that this is no, I can't say that, can I? Okay, so I was gonna say something like that this is like my favorite, not just finale, but like episodes leading up to it, but that's wrong, because season 6 and season 7 are also up there with me, so I gotta again revert back to there's just a change of mood. There's just a change of mood in the second half of this series, and the big bads get more serious, and so the resolution to them get more serious. And so the last couple episodes of season 5, but also season 6, season 7, just are really like up there and well done. And again, Spike is the one that figures it out that Ben is Glory. I love those scenes where he's explaining it. It's too good. It's such a shame that I can't watch this. I can't. I did it now for this rewatch just because I wanted to fully see it again. Um, but it's still rough. But it's so good. It's so good. I don't even know what other people think about season 5. I've just avoided anything to do with season 5 all of my life. So I don't even know if it's an underrated season or if it is a lauded season. I have no idea. I just didn't talk about season 5. Okay, that's about it, I think. I feel like this was a little bit jumbled. In normal circumstances, this would probably lead me to wanting to do a second take, but these are not normal circumstances. And I have no idea when I'll be able to film again. So this is gonna be it. It's gonna be it. Okay. Yeah. We'll see where this goes. Good night, and I will see you when I see you.